And welcome into Check Please, our weekly check-in at DC Prime. Not all stakes are equal. We're going to have maybe some steak tonight. Julie Donaldson here with you as always, but I'm joined with some guys you might be familiar with. I got two legends sitting at the table here. Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, both have won Super Bowls. I can go through all your accolades, but that would take up the whole show. Gentlemen, since we're here, I do want to get to some storytelling because both of you played with Joe Gibbs. Both of you won Super Bowls. I want to be able to get into some of those good stories, kind of see, what you remember, favorite plays, maybe favorite moments. So a lot of good stories to come, but I think we really have to start with this current team and where they stand, because it is a totally different story than where we started at 2-6.
Oh, gosh.
Totally different story than where we started thinking that the whole offseason, Ryan Fitzpatrick in his 17th season was going to be the one to lead this team. In comes Taylor Heinicke. Since I have quarterbacks here, let me ask you about the quarterbacks. Joe, let me start with you. Taylor has, since the bye week, really progressed. And we have to remember he's still very young in his quarterback career. With the starts that he has had, he's received a lot of criticism. People were calling maybe to bench him early on, but after the bye week, now they're saying, they love him. He's won their hearts over. What have you seen in his progression?
Well, before we get to Taylor, I think you have to give credit to Ron Rivera. Staying the course with all the criticisms, all the difficult times that they had in the beginning of the interceptions, very timely bad interceptions, some of the decisions that he made, not getting in the end zone, going down before. Ron just stayed with Taylor and said, it's going to get better. Scott Turner did the same thing. He's young, he's learning. And what I've been so excited about seeing is the progress that he's made from where he was to where he is today. Not just throwing the football, I think he's become even more accurate, but what really impresses me is the decisions that he makes. And I think Doug and I both agree that when you boil the quarterback position down, everybody can throw the ball around in this league. Everybody that plays the position has some degree of ability to throw the football. It's the decisions you make with the ball in your hand that gives your team a chance to win and or lose. And what I've seen out of Taylor, in particular these last 3 weeks, is a lot of really good decisions. Plus he's got this magic. I mean, he's a little bit of Houdini. I mean, he has the ability, when it looks like everything is lost, all of a sudden there he is popping out of a pile and he's making a play. Not just popping out, making a play, sliding at the side. At the sidelines, and understanding clock too. Don't go out of bounds, stay in bounds. Don't make that kind of a mistake. And we see a lot of young quarterbacks do that, but the moment's certainly not too big for him, and I'm excited for him.
I feel the same way, Joe. My thing is quarterback present in the pocket. And I think in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he's gotten a lot better. Just to see him escape some of the situation that he's in and some of the throws that he made. And I think last game, it was about 3 or 4 throws that he made that his arm talent, he changed his whole arm, throwing his side, doing what he had to do. He made one during the stretch of the last drive for a first down. He threw one across the middle. The linebacker was there, but he dropped it right over his head. That's something that he hadn't been doing. I think when you look at that, you see that he's learned a lot in the last few weeks. Last night, he didn't get in any kind of situation where there was a possibility of an interception. I think that in itself says a lot about who he is. But the fact that Joe mentioned Houdini, he got out of a sack situation last
Multiple
night.
times.
He does it every week. He
does. I mean,
every week.
We're in the booth calling the game, and there are multiple times he should be down. And even if not by the first sack, but maybe the second guy. And he's still up running around, and as you said, he still makes a play. They give him that word moxie.
He had that from the get-go. All you need to do is be around Taylor early on, and you knew that there was something unique about him. He has a great belief in his ability. Some people call that egotism. I know, because I've been accused of that.
He doesn't seem to have much
No, he
ego.
doesn't.
He's really
he
this
doesn't.
he doesn't seem that anything's really kind of changed his mindset, and maybe it's because he spent 2 years sitting on his sister's couch, totally out of the league.
I think that's part of it. There's that hunger to get back. Doug, and when his opportunity came, he capitalized on it. And to me, that's what's so much fun to watch. Like I say, his growth at the position has just been so enjoyable to watch, but also his command on the field is the other thing. You talk about the presence.
I mean, the offense. I mean, like he knows there because, at the last minute, he just turned and just threw the ball where the receiver was waiting on him.
Yep.
I looked at him last night and I woke up this morning, I had one name in mind. and that was the second coming of Joe Theismann.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, when you watch him, think about the way Joe played, his movement, how he moved around, got away, and threw the football. I saw that last night in Taylor Heinicke, and to me, I think with calling the plays with Turner.
Scott Turner, yeah.
Yeah, Scott give him everything to run, and the running backs are helping him a lot because once he do this, you don't know whether he gonna keep it or gonna give it to the running back, and it gives him an opportunity to find the receiver.
See, I also think that there's one other element of this football team. We saw it late last year, and we're seeing it again now, and that's the offensive lines, solidifying the offensive line. I think having Brandon Sheriff there is such an anchor. This is one of the things that we've noticed over the last couple of years here, especially under Ron, is the versatility of the offensive line. All the interior guys have the ability to move inside to the middle. Guards play center, centers play guards. Tackles are pretty much set where they are. But those three guys inside, you can put them like a deck of cards and shuffle them. And you know, it's the presence in the pocket, but it's also the time. When you have the skill set to be able to run, one of the hardest things to pull back on is to take off and go.
Yeah.
And what Taylor has done so nicely is he stays in the pocket, he gives the routes a chance to be able to develop, and then at the last minute, he has a sense of feeling what's around him. It's a little bit of a sixth sense. I mean, if you're a scrambling guy, you have to be able to have that. Now, Doug and I were two entirely different types of quarterbacks.
Two types of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I saw him last night. He got 2 passes off in the lick of time. Because if he didn't get them off, it would have been a sack fumble. A couple times. And one time they hit his arm, but he got it.
He got the spinner.
He got it there.
Right.
He knew where he was going.
A little whirly bird.
And he got there. You know, it's amazing.
We've seen a lot of growth. That was just his 11th start.
Yeah.
Just his 11th start, and we've seen that progression. Where do you think he could be? And I think that's the big question everybody wants to know. Does he deserve to be a starter? Where is he in the middle of the pack? You know, what is that next level career for him where he's at?
You know, it's hard to say he can't be the starter. I think, too, the way this whole football team has been playing, the defense and the offensive line, like Joe mentioned, I think this is the best offensive line since the 80s. Let me say it there. You know, the way they're playing.
We know those lines well.
And I think if the way this team is gelling, you know, we got our two best pass rushers are out. But you can't tell those guys who's over there that they out. They playing because, yeah, I'm the starter. And that's the way they should look at it. But if the team keep playing the way they're playing and give him the opportunity with the football, I think he can be a starter, wherever you want. But he definitely is a top backup if you want to say that, but I think he's a starter.
Well, he is the starter.
Yeah.
You look at other guys that are young in this profession. There's 7 or 8 different young guys, whether it be first-year guys or second-year guys, that continue to make mistakes. I think of Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. They lose to the Giants 13-7. Okay, he throws 2 interceptions in the red zone. Taylor early on made those kind of mistakes, but now look at the growth. Look at how he's progressing. Jalen's got a whole full year of starting ahead of him. I'm excited for him. Sure, I think this football team's going to want to add to the position, but not necessarily go find somebody and say, hey, Taylor, thanks an awful lot. We'll catch you later. We're now going to groom somebody else. I believe that this is his job, and he continues to get stronger and stronger. And Doug makes a great point. And I've said this, the quarterback position is the single most dependent position on the field. I thought Antonio ran with great power last night. Hope JD's okay. You know, as long as he's going to be all right, you have that great variety, which takes us back to the 80s when I had Joe Washington and John Riggins. And before that, I had Nick Giacquino and John. And so you've got your pounder, and then you've got your third down back. And everybody has a role on this football team. Defensively, you see guys sub in and out. Offensively, you see running backs sub in and out. You see, you know, and to me, you can't say enough about Terry McLaurin. I mean, Jiminy Cricket. There's one of my favorite little sayings.
Yeah, and we just got Logan Thomas back.
Yes.
He's an outstanding job at the tight end
Curtis
position.
Samuel now.
Curtis Samuel, we're still waiting to
presence.
see everything that he has, but you know defenders have to account for him. The offense is running really well, and a lot of that's a credit to what Taylor Heinicke has been able to do, and to your point, what Scott Turner's been able to call. I want to get into, when we come back here, a little bit about maybe in parallels, maybe we can draw to your days. Also, again, we've got to get into stories of Joe Gibbs. I mean, he won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. 2 of them are sitting right here. But are the stories the same? Is that a yes or a no?
I'm not sure.
No.
I doubt it.
It's a little different.
Hey,
that.
I had him first, okay?
Yeah,
We'll have that when
I
we come
tempered
back.
him. I tempered him.
He's his baby. Believe me, he raised him. So Joe raised Joe. Let me say that.
Stories on Coach Gibbs when we come back here on Check Please.
DC has a new home for your favorite songs from the 80s.
Tom Petty.
Def Leppard.
Nobody plays more 80s.
Bon Jovi.
Prince.
94.7
Madonna. Bruce Springsteen.
The Drive.
Now there's a way to make supporting your favorite restaurant even better. Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. It's our promise to make sure your food is just right by delivering it on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks. That way you can experience your food just like the restaurant intended. That's the Grubhub Guarantee.
Gambit DC, the world-class sports betting app and website. Gambit DC will be there for the first pitch, the first slam dunk. Bet on your favorite sports and teams, collegiate and professional. There are multiple ways to bet. Spreads, money line, over-under. Want to win big? Try a parlay. Want to be a part of the action? Try in-game betting. It's easy, it's secure, and it's at your fingertips. Gambit DC. It's sports, only better. Powered by DC Lottery. GambitDC.com.
Now there's a way to make supporting your favorite restaurant even better. Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. It's our promise to make sure your food is just right by delivering it on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks. That way you can experience your food just like the restaurant intended. That's the Grubhub Guarantee.
It's about grit. It's about guts. It's about winning. It's about where we come from and what we can be. It's about DC and celebrating our football team. With the Washington football team scratcher from the DC Lottery, you can win up to $50,000, as well as some exciting second chance opportunities. And you can continue your winning experience at DCILottery.com.
With live betting on FanDuel Sportsbook, you can play here as fast as they play here all game long. Get goosebumps over bootlegs, adrenaline rushes over rushes. Yes. Turn garbage time into greatness and make every moment of every game a big one. With live betting on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, make every moment more even after kickoff. New customers get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. FanDuel, make every moment more.
We're back on Check Please. And when you sit down with 2 amazing quarterbacks that won Super Bowls, you have to ask them about their days playing, right? So let me get straight to who wants to go first on, because both of you played for Joe Gibbs. Who wants to go first on television?
I think you gotta let Joe. I think
he
you
was
gotta
his
let
first,
Joe.
right?
I was going to say let Doug do it, but
No.
I got him first.
Let me say this.
So-
I had him first, but he got it.
That's right. That's right.
Very true. Very true. Okay, so tell me one of your favorite Joe Gibbs stories.
Well, there's a number of them. Obviously, I'm a record holder in the National Football League. Not too many people can say that. I hold the record for the shortest net punt in the history of the game. It was against the Chicago Bears. So
Which Ron Rivera was on that team, right?
he was on that team,
Yes.
right? So
1 yard?
1 yard, one
Yeah.
net yard. Jeff Hayes gets hurt. He's our kickoff guy and our punter. Joe's standing there going, "What am I gonna do?" I walked up. I said, "I can punt." He said, "You can what?" I said, "I can punt. How hard can it be? You drop the ball, boom, gone, no problem. Guys will cover it." He says, "Fine. Next time, just go ahead. Next time we punt, you punt." We wind up. It's fourth down and 8. So I get the snap from center, and so all the guys are saying, "Kick it right." I say, "Hey, don't worry about it." And I take them, and all of a sudden the world goes into slow motion. It's like I'm approaching the ball, and I lay the ball out, and I raise my foot, and it's pow, and the ball goes flying off my foot, hung in the air, went 16 yards. So I get to the bench, I sit down, bang, they score right away. So now I walk up to him, and he's got the play sheet in front of him. You know, coach had his play sheet. He had those big old glasses that he wore. He's got the play sheets. I said, what do you want to run? Very serious. He says, I want to run spread right, short motion, 60 outside. I said, great. And then I started laughing. I said, do you want me to punt again? He looked, he put the clipboard on, he looked at me and he pushed his glasses up and he went, I never want to hear the word punt come out of your mouth again. And so I retired with my 1 yard average. Joe and I communicate, you know, every 2-3 months we just catch up with one another. I love the man tremendously. So I get this voicemail from him. He goes, and this is what he sounds like. He goes, hey, you out back working on your punts? He's got this giddy little laugh.
I went home with Coach Gibbs. When he got out of the meeting, I got in his car, drove to his house, sit at his table with Pat and his 2 boys, bless his soul, Carl and JD, and we ate dinner. When we ate dinner, him and I went, and we went through the playbook every night in training camp. And you know, I never forgot that, no will. And then when I got the call to come up here after Joe unfortunately gotten hurt, he asked me, he said, I'm just calling Douglas. He don't somebody call me Douglas. You know, everybody else call me Doug. Douglas, and I said, he said, yeah, Coach, how you doing? He said, I just called and I just want to know, could you be the backup? I said, Coach, I said, let me say this. I can be any up that you want me to be because I don't have a job.
This isn't when you were teaching school?
No, that was before the draft.
Oh, okay,
This is after the USFL had folded. But you know, and when I came up here, I know we were playing in Green Bay and doing warm up. You know, I almost froze to death. Pre-game warm up, my hands was froze. And he said, he looked at me, he said, hold on, I hope I don't have to play him. But no, Joe Gibbs, for me, I think we got him after Joe had tamed him a little bit, and he was a different guy. Me and Mark had him at a different time.
Oh, as long as I've been around football. I mean, in professional football, you know, I've been gone now 36 years, and I played 15. So for 50 plus years being around this game, never seen anybody with the ability to be able to orchestrate and create plays in the red zone like Joe Gibbs.
And who can make
phenomenal.
And who can make all the right decisions coming out of halftime. You know, if he go in halftime and things ain't working, I can promise you, he's one guy can come back.
We never
added.
We never added. That's the thing about it. We deleted stuff.
Yeah. You go in.
He didn't say let's do this. He says let's take this out, this out, this out, and actually. I don't know if he was this way with you, but people said, did Coach and you ever discuss plays? No, he told me what to do and I did it.
No, I mean, at the end of the day,
it wasn't any, let's sit down, here's some plays, what do you think of it?
You go in on Wednesday, you go in there and you got a board full of plays. You go out there and you walk through, you run the plays in practice, and the next morning he cut back what he thought would look good, what he didn't look good. He take it out and you got this up there, and by the time you get to Friday, you got your game plan.
Yeah.
The game plan worked.
I thought it did.
It did. It worked. Well,
pretty
look,
good.
he won 3 Super Bowls for the Washington football team with 3 different quarterbacks. We're missing Mark Rippon at this table.
3 different running backs.
3 different running backs as well.
Well, but Joe hit something.
But yet the line was always relatively the same, right? For the most part.
We were lucky that way.
But Joe said something. Coach Gibbs picked a good coaching staff, but he also picked players that he knew that had the character and the will and the fortitude to work hard and come to play every week.
What a great teacher he was, too. Concepts and philosophies about the game of football. He saw the game differently than all of us.
He was ahead.
Well, he really was.
He was ahead of most people. I mean, think about it. He never had the same formation from week to week. 3 weeks, he wasn't going to run the same thing. It was every 4 weeks. But the plays was the same. You know, I played when Joe played. I mean, when you think about the receivers I had, they all played same position anytime. You know, now you got guys who can only play X. I can only play Z.
We're also seeing that's why Coach Rivera loves the flex guys, the guys that can play multiple positions, so you can do just that.
Most coaches do. Coaches do on offense. They want to be able to have someone that can do things.
And then it keeps the defense on their heels, so they don't know exactly where either of you guys are going. Look, we still have more to get to here on Check Please. So when we come back, a little more of story time as well. And look, since they both won Super Bowls, we've watched them, we've seen them, but maybe what are some of the most memorable things that happened off of the field during the Super Bowl runs? Stay with us here on Check Please.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
Who's that? Did you hear that?
Anybody home?
Santa?
Yes?
Santa! Are you stuck?
I am.
Oh no. I better call someone.
Yeah. Hey, Santa.
Yes?
Did you remember the scratch-offs?
Check your stocking.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Santa.
Someone called the fire department? What do you got?
Stuck Santa.
Are those holiday scratch-offs?
Yeah.
Make it merrier. Give Maryland Lottery holiday scratch-offs.
Little help here.
DC has a new home for your favorite songs from the 80s.
Tom Petty.
Def Leppard. Nobody plays more 80s.
Bon Jovi.
Prince.
94.7
Madonna. Bruce Springsteen.
The Drive.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class healthcare. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
My work has been viewed by 100 million people. My work helps save lives. My work has gone platinum. My work gives people hope. I work at FedEx.
Take your career to the next level with one of our many open positions.
It's about grit. It's about guts. It's about winning. It's about where we come from and what we can be. It's about DC and celebrating our football team. With the Washington football team scratcher from the DC Lottery, you can win up to $50,000, as well as some exciting second chance opportunities. And you can continue your winning experience at DCILottery.com.
Now there's a way to make supporting your favorite restaurant even better. Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. It's our promise to make sure your food is just right by delivering it on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks. That way you can experience your food just like the restaurant intended. That's the Grubhub Guarantee.
We are back on Check Please, and I'm talking with two of the best quarterbacks to ever play for the Washington football team. And while we've talked a lot about the current state of the team and also their times playing with the team, I want to know about the women behind the men. This is presented by Fresh Vine Wine. As we know, you don't get there alone, gentlemen. There's always somebody standing behind you or maybe helping you through this. So as Fresh Vine Wine presents this for us, Doug, let me start with you. A woman that maybe had an impact on your football career.
Well, there's no doubt it was my mom. You know, my mom would not fly anywhere. And when I played in Tampa, my mom would catch the Greyhound bus and take that 2-day ride, 2.5-day ride to Tampa. The only time she ever flew in her life was I had back surgery here and the Super Bowl. Other than that, she was there on Greyhound bus at least 3 or 4 times a year. And you know, when you think about now, thinking about at that time it wasn't a big deal, but you think about it now, from Zachary, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Tampa, just driving straight is 11 hours. Could you imagine your mom on the bus for 2.5 days? You know, but at that time she wanted to get there. And that's how she got there. So my mom, no doubt.
I wouldn't be missing a game at all either, whatever it took to be able to get down there. What about for you, Joe?
I'd have to say it's my mom as well. My dad worked 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So he was gone all the time except Sundays. That was the only day off. My mom worked at Boy Scouts of America. She worked at Squibbs in Milltown, New Jersey. But when my dad was at work on Saturday, if I needed somebody to pitch to me, if I needed somebody to run routes for me, if I needed somebody to catch, my mom was my everything, more than anything. In this crazy, hectic world, I know when I got crazy and I get with my mother, everything just sort of calmed down a little bit.
That's what moms are good for.
That's what mothers do. That's their job.
Right.
That's what my moms are good for. My mom was one of my hardest critics.
Yep.
So cheers to the moms. Thanks to Fresh Fine Wine.
Here's to the moms.
Let me go to the Super Bowl games. It's been a long time since Washington has been able to experience that kind of magic and that energy. And we've seen the parade, we've seen the pictures, we've seen the games. But I'd like to get each of your take on what is your favorite play from your Super Bowl game, Jeff?
For my Super Bowl, it had to be the 54-yarder to Ricky Sanders. And that's what 60 counter trade pass. Fake, you know, I'm looking at Tony Lilly right now coming up, because we was running the ball pretty decent at that time. And Tony Lilly came up to force the run, and Ricky, you know, came across the formation in the zoom, went up the field, boom, and next thing you know, he's behind Tony Lilly. You can see Tony Lilly saying this, he said, oh, shoot. You know he couldn't get back, and he turned, and Ricky was gone. Yeah.
What about for you, Joe?
It has to be the moment when I knocked the ball away from Kim Bocamper. We were backed up. We were down at the time. We were backed up. We ran a little quick hitch. That's all it was a zero route, 5-yard turn. And I turned around and I was going to fire it back out to Charlie Brown on the left side, and Kim went up in the air and knocked the ball. And the ball it's literally just, I could read, you know, Wilson on. I could count every stitch, and I could see the ball, and everything went into slow motion again in my life. And he's got his arms out, and this is right on the goal line. And I couldn't get to it, and I just lunged at the last minute, and I managed to get my arm in between it, stripped the ball away, and the both of us sat in the end zone looking at one another. And I went, that was close.
Thank you, gentlemen, both, for joining us here tonight.
My pleasure.
We could carry this on for hours. I'll have to bring you both back. And not often you get to sit down with two of the best quarterbacks to play the game. Thank you so much, Joe Theismann. Thank you so much, Doug Williams. And thank you so much for joining us here on Check Please. But as you see, our food, it's going to get cold. We need to eat it. So we'll see you next time. Cheers.